KLIF News Time 7:42. Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football. He could soon be a has-been before he's an is. If he doesn't clean up his act, he's still causing trouble. Or what happened over the weekend was that he was called in connection to another domestic incident involving his former girlfriend. This happened in Fort Worth, and police had to find him in the middle of the night and everything seems to be okay, but we really don't know all the details. Chris Lewis is a former sports agent, now a criminal defense attorney with Crane Lewis Brogdon in Dallas. Chris, sounds like Johnny needs to have your number on speed dial as a former agent and a defense attorney. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Just fine. What I really want to know is what kind of career does this guy have at this point? I mean, he may have done nothing over the weekend, but it's just the fact that he keeps showing up in the news and under suspicious circumstances.
Yeah, that's the problem now. The issue and the story is not whether or not there was an actual crime. It doesn't seem like there was, and there wasn't back in October. The problem is, especially as a quarterback in the NFL, the teams are very concerned about your visibility and about your marketability and being the face of the franchise. And the main thing they want to know is that they can count on you. It's going to be a financial investment for them, that they can count on you to be around. He seems to keep putting himself in these positions, and it draws all this negative publicity. And at some point, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I think teams are going to be I think they already are. I think probably right now in the open market, and we're about to see, there's not going to be that many teams that are interested in him.
Except maybe Jerry Jones, because he seems to like to hire people who have pasts involving this kind of thing.
Well, Jerry Jones, I think, is a risk taker, and we've seen over the course of a couple of decades here that he's taken some risks that have worked out very well for him. He's also taken some risks that haven't worked out so well for him. The most recent one, probably Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy, they take a big risk. They probably drop some in the court of public opinion. He only ends up with 6 sacks last year, and they've decided to part ways with him.
So if you were Johnny Manziel's agent, what do you tell him, and how do you try to pitch him to another team at this point?
Well, you'd have to sit down and have a very serious conversation with him, and it's tough to do with a guy because not only is he a professional, he's a football player, he's a young man, and he's not really doing anything besides the domestic violence calls. But as far as going out and going to Vegas and partying and doing those types of things, he's not doing anything any differently than most 23-year-olds do. But you've got to tell him that, sitting down and talk to him and tell him that he is much different than other 23-year-olds. He's got the opportunity that most people don't have, and he's already got a couple of strikes against him because of reports and because of his history. And he might be finding himself at the end of his career, although he's at the beginning, because of some of these choices and some of the things he's doing and some of the people that he's associating with. The way I pitch him to clubs is, listen, his talent is undeniable. He's a great talent. We've even seen it as recent as last year with the Cleveland Browns. He's charismatic. He's going to put people in the seats. He's going to sell jerseys. He's extremely marketable. This is the guy that can be the face of your franchise. We will get him in line. We will make sure he does what he's supposed to do, and he will abide by whatever structure y'all put in place. Give him a chance.
All right, I want you to stay away from Jerry. That was a good pitch.
Do you give him a sponsor to follow him around, or what do you do?
You know, the Cowboys have done that for a while. I think they've had Calvin Hill in that position where they've had guys that have been in this position where they haven't balanced the professional life with the personal life very well. You know, Josh Hamilton, when he was here with the Rangers, had something similar. So, I mean, you talk about a big risk. Josh Hamilton was a big risk for the Rangers, and it paid off great. I think that Johnny Manziel is in a much better position than Josh Hamilton was. But, yeah, I think that you tell him, here's your structure. These are the rules. You abide by these rules. You can stay here. We'll keep you as long as you'll stay. But if you don't, if you step outside, you know, we're just not going to deal with it. You have a very short rope here.
All right. Chris, thank you very much. It was very entertaining and enlightening. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.
There's Chris Lewis, former sports agent, now a criminal defense attorney with Crane Lewis Brogdon in Dallas.
KLIF News Times.